Why don't you do the intro right now today? I think that'd be cool. Just start
just
the way you did. Say, I'm Jim. This is Ryan. This is John.
Yeah.
We've been working on this thing for whatever or whatever you said. That was perfect.
Hey guys, glad you're here. My name is Jim. This is Ryan. This is John. We're here today working on the 49 Ford body swap BMW 335i. Today we're going to get into installing the roll cage into this thing. We got our tubing bender set up over there. We're going to get it set up, mounted to the floor, and get bending on some tube. So come along.
Trusty old JD squared tube bender. This thing's been around for a little while. I've had it built roll cages for trucks, bumpers, Nerf bars for the sides, lots of different things. The handle has been misplaced somewhere over the years, or I had to ditch it when I moved. Don't remember. But anyways, I'm gonna build a handle. Let's start building the handle.
So what we're doing right here is he's going to use this for the arm. It's a manual bender, so you got to actually put some sweat equity into it. And we're worried that the wall thickness is too thin, so he found this L angle iron piece. We'll weld it on here, kind of like a gusset, to strengthen up this piece when it's on this guy over here. This goes on here. I don't know which way he's going to do it, but
I'm going to put one on this side and one on this side.
There you go.
That way this isn't trying to bust out through that wall.
Cool. It's good thinking. That's why you make the big bucks.
Yep.
Hey Ryan.
Yeah.
Is this where it's going to go?
Yeah.
Just like this? Or like this?
We're crazy about that.
Ah, it worked!
Moment of truth. Let's see if it fits. New handle complete.
She's ready.
I still think welding it in would be better than sandwiching it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I am still.
Looks like you're only grabbing right here.
That's why I'm wondering if this plate is what I said. If it's,
And then back here.
meant to sit it up. If you pull that back nut out.
Too much though.
Huh?
Too much. I don't think it's for that. Look how big that lip is. It's like 1.5 inches. So these are the base plates for the roll cage for the main hoop. Was what we're thinking. We're not sure. So anyway, we decided that we're cutting them off a little bit so that we can weld. Let me show you right here what we're going to do. So this is going to go on the floor right here. It sits right about there. So it was wider and it's up off the ground right here because it has like these waves in the floor. So we figured if we cut it, we can weld along this edge also. And then of course this around here. So this will get welded in and then the cage sits on it. So these are our base plates for the main hoop. Got to still clean it up because it's pretty. We're gonna fix that. And then those are the additional plates for the rest of the stuff. So we're just starting with the main hoop right now. We're gonna go ahead and kind of line it up and get it centered up in here. And then we want to bend these front hoops because those are really our biggest challenge. I've never done a cage. Ryan has worked on some in the past, but it has some complex turns in it. So we'll see what happens. I got a little bit of extra DOM tubing out there, so if we mess up, hopefully we'll have enough. All right, so we got our two base plates cut. So this one's gonna sit right right here like this. This one's gonna sit right here like that. And what we're doing now is we're cutting these little guys off of here because don't really need to cut it off for the roll cage, but we're planning already for our paneling for the interior. And this little piece, I don't know what this is. Ryan thought that it was.
I think it's a tooling mount for when they carry the car down the assembly line.
So in either case, we don't need it, so we're gonna cut it off just like we did on the driver's side right here. That's already cut off. Gives us a nice flat surface to work with. So I'm gonna cut that off right now. Keep going. I think that your assumption is correct. The hook goes right there, rolls down the assembly line with it.
Dry ice is one of the few things on earth that goes from a solid to a gas. I don't know any of the other ones, but there are. So what you have here is disappearing product. I don't see how they can make money. The theory is if we could freeze this.
Very loud.
Yeah, it's very loud. Freeze this deadening material, it'll chip up much easier than any other method, if you will. You know, dry ice here is a negative.
We YouTubed it, so it must be right.
Yeah.
It must be correct.
Yeah, you know how YouTube is. So you know, we got a negative 100 degree material.
How many degrees?
Negative 100 degree Fahrenheit.
Oh, negative 100. How long are you supposed to leave it on there?
You know what they did? They time lapsed it. I don't know who would do that.
Ah, dang! Why do people time lapse stuff?
Dude.
Let it sit for a second at least.
Man, I say it's a solid 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I'd say it's 5 anyways. If it even transfers at all, I mean, it will, but maybe it needs to be out of the bag.
The one dude did it in the bag.
Whoa!
Yeah, for another 30 seconds. And just like that, we're chipping away on this car every day. Oh! Hey guys, I want to take a minute to thank you guys for watching our channel, for watching our episode. Please keep in mind to share them with your friends and subscribe, like, all that good stuff, so that we can continue to grow the channel. But I have something really cool to tell you guys. We got the confirmation email just this past week that the car is definitely going to be in the Hostile Wheels booth at SEMA 2021. Is that what this 2021 is what we're in right now? Cool. So we're gonna be there. So hopefully some of you guys will get to meet you guys over at the Hostile Wheels booth. Come September 2nd, I think, is the starting date for it. It's like a whole week. Yeah, that's what I said. November 2nd. Anyway, guys, we really appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. That looks pretty cool by itself.
That Guns N' Roses song.
Oh, it's pointing this way. Oh, did it scare you? Did you jump again?
Oh, it was actually playing a lot louder than I thought.
Yeah, it was. In new 1 3/4 die.
Brand spanking new, because the roll cage that we got just happened to be 1 3/4, and Ryan had a 1 1/2 and a 2-inch die. So had to
New dies.
source one. It's actually fairly hard right now. Everything's out of stock everywhere. Super long delays. Man, I want to see some bending.
Yeah, we gotta get those plates on the floor so we can get accurate measurements, so we know exactly where we're bending to. If you start bending from the wrong place, you have something sitting at just the wrong angle, the whole thing ends up off and just doesn't work.
Alright, I'm vacuuming!
Alright, so a lesson I learned in the past, you can see this is all dirty, right? We got lots of dirt, I can feel grains of dirt. If you don't clean all that off before you run it through your die, you'll end up scratching the die. Once you scratch the die, that can gum up and turn into burrs, and those burrs will actually mark your tubing. You'll end up scratching the tubing as you run along the outer die. So make sure that your tube is very clean before you start doing it to make sure you have a long tool life.
Weight reduction.
If you cut it too short to start with, then you're hosed because it's now too short. We can always take material off, can't really add it back. So when I'm doing my bending, I usually start my first bend a little bit tall, knowing that I have this spacing right between bends, and then I cut my bottom to where I want it to sit. That way I can adjust that, I can ensure my angle fits. If there's something a little bit off with where these bends happen, I can adjust it with where the floor sits as well.
And we're just using these pieces just to kind of mock up. Obviously these are not part of the roll cage, but so we're thinking that plates down there, we're leaving room for our bottom panel for the dash that still needs to get built. And then that first bend right here, thinking about tying this A-pillar into the cage because I really want that. The whole reason this cage is really being put in here is because of the body swap, you know. I just don't feel safe enough with all of this. We need the extra strength. So then the second bend will be here, gets tucked up a little higher so we're not hitting the head because the car's already chopped 4 inches. Then it ties into the hoop that Auto Power Safety sent us from San Diego. The hoop is actually made for a 335i. So that's a factory piece, or not a factory piece, but it's a fitted piece to the BMW. This we got to build ourselves because of the roof height, which actually the roof height was really close, but the A-pillar on the BMW is more slanted, so it wouldn't have worked anyway. So do you mark the middle of the bend, or is that's how it goes typically, or the start of the bend?
Start of the bend.
Okay.
Because that's where it touches your die.
All right.
So we're coming up at an angle. We're doing an arc, straight, arc, back, and then this one will be an arc to the center. So this one I just determined we're going to start at 32 inches.
So let's go ahead and put this in. So 35 degrees you said on this, right? At 38 inch starting point. 32 inch starting point. Well, let's go ahead and bust that, see what we got. Cool, so that's the A-pillar coming up from the floor. That's the first bend. That's the windshield right here. That's the second bend, that's the roof right there. So this is looking at it from the passenger side. This is looking at that same tube looking down. So there's gonna be a little kick out as it comes up by the windshield, and then it has to be kicked in to meet the hoop, the existing hoop, we think. But that's the plan.
Pretty much a given, but yes.
All right, so we knew we were gonna be a little tall right now. We did that on purpose so we can cut that down. But the more we're looking at it, Ryan's got a good point. I was trying to stay away from too many bends just because, you know, we're pretty amateurs at the game of roll cage. But I think he's right. I think we're gonna have to bring this down lower, go straight, and then kick it forward. So I didn't want to do another kick, but I think we're gonna have to. And it's gonna look cool. It's gonna give you a little bit more leg space anyway to get in. And then I think this will start lower, which is gonna be good, because this looks a little silly starting way up there, you know? Just so that we can clear all the dash stuff. We're trying to figure out our next bend, which is very critical. It's the top one for the roof height. So trying to bend up a 1/4-inch rod that we had laying around. Ryan's over here looking up some bend calculators online. See what we can do.
See, it's because we're only doing a 45 that's hosing us. If we were doing a 90, this would be easy.
Let's check that out.
All right. Piece was just long enough, wasn't it?
Yeah. So if we compensate for a 1 inch there, we did like 15 degree there, give or take. We got this here, so I even got that, you know, sideways there. This might actually have to come back the other way, but the point is that let's try the height now in there. What do you think? Except that we need to add the thickness of the tubing to this 1/4-inch rod. For this height, you know.
We're on the center line though, so we don't. Well, correct for here.
Yeah, exactly. Let's try it. Okay. It looks to me, Ryan, like we need to start that bend at least an inch higher.
Yeah.
Possibly even 1.5 inches. So remember, we're down the 1 inch that we want it to be.
Oh,
and look at this. Look at this though. This is cool though. If this is the outside of the bar,
Outside the yeah.
outside and the front, let's just call it that, right? Outside center line, front, right here, a couple inches. This bend is in a good place because it gives us a nice parallel 45 right here, you know, for our plate. And then this is actually okay for the bottom of the tube, but we got to add 1.5 inches to go up for the tube thickness, the OD.
Right.
So I think that this bend needs to start 1.5 inches higher than where I started this one.
Okay.
Would you?
Is this also like close to the 6.5 radius? Did you compare it to the other
Sure.
radius we had?
Pretty close. We'll put it back on there again. And then this is the 15 degree. We got to come back this way though.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Well, we gave it a good run.
We did.
We gave it a good run. But this last bend up here went 15 degrees the wrong way. You're worried about that. I mean, we could have sworn that it was the right decision. So now this piece is gonna be used for a scrap piece. And I was hoping to have this in the car tacked in to finish this episode, but that's all right. This is life. We gotta just roll with the punches. So anyway, we learned a few things, and I think the next time you're feeling that it's gonna be a...
To run through them pretty quick to get a couple tubes knocked out next time.
Yeah, so I think next episode, you guys, we'll have these A-pillars bent, or front bars, whatever they're called. Should have them tacked in with the hoop, and we might move on to the back bars. We'll have the thing tacked in. So thanks guys for following us. We had a good time. Temperature's up to 100 degrees-ish in here right now, and we're not even sweating very much. So, all right guys, thanks for following. See you guys in the next one.